Everyone's heard of relationship red flags. You may even heard of green flags, but not much has been said about relationship pink flags. So, a relationship pink flag is something that's weird to you, like you're getting a vibe, and it may not be a big deal, or it may be completely fine. Sometimes we're blinded by love. I know I have been. I'm sure you have been too, or you know someone who has been. And sometimes we overlook some negative aspects of our partners. Like, for instance, we never have arguments. Have you been in a situation where you're like, wait a minute, we never argue, we never disagree? Now, if you've never argued, you've never disagreed before, or if it never has even come up for you to even disagree, that may be a clear indication of a pink flag. And that's because oftentimes it can be, like I said, an indication that both parties aren't being authentic. You're not giving enough to the relationship, or you're not willing to be vulnerable enough to grow within your relationship. So a pink flag is difficult, and sometimes it's uncomfortable to have relationships, and that's why it's a pink flag, because you don't want to tread, into a potential argument. So another thing is, for instance, they're not reliable or consistent. Now, we can consider lack of consistency as a pink flag because it's an indication that they're not reliable, possibly cheating and or not being honest. Oftentimes it's tough though, because that means that really your partner may not even be doing anything. But again, it's not a red flag, it's not a green flag, it's a pink flag. So that's something that, you may want to take a look at. Now, of course, just because you're not reliable doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. You may be trying, or they may be trying to navigate through their own life and maybe own stressors. Sometimes they're not really consistent. They may not be happy, they may not be patient, or you may not be patient. But it doesn't mean that it's a red flag. Again, it's just something to be mindful of. So, even there's times where they may be avoiding defining your relationship. One of those let's see where it goes type of situations. And it could be a pink flag because you're not seeing anyone else. Maybe they're not seeing anyone else. You're actually seeing each other. But months and months go by and you notice that it's just mundane, or it's not really regular. It's not defined. You don't know where you stand in that relationship, but you may want, or you find signals, but you're not really sure. You can't really quite put your finger on it. And so you never know. That person may be looking for another situation that they feel, or you feel, that you can get into that is more serious. So every relationship has struggles, and most of them, sometimes you feel like you're mismatched. Doesn't mean that it's completely a red flag. These are just some high-level things that I just kind of came up with. But the key is to know when these areas are concerning, if they're manageable, or if you need to navigate in a different way. However, if you find yourself unable to get around these, it could be a chance to possibly move on from the relationship, or actually have that conversation with the person. So remember, they're not red flags and they're not green flags. They're pink flags, which means still that it's something, like I said, that gives you an eerie feeling, but it may be something that can be worked upon or worked around. So have the conversation. And as always, you could reach out to me at Dr. Lamarr Renee Spencer on Facebook, on TikTok, or drlamarrspencer@gmail.com. Thanks, and I hope you enjoy the pink flags.